Now, Washington mornings on the Mall.
105.9 FM.
And AM 630.
WMAL.
8:37 on WMAL. Brian Wilson, Brian Neiman on the phone. Our good friend from your Fox News channel, Bret Baier of Bret Baier. Special report with Bret Baier. It's all about Bret Baier. Hello, Bret. How are you?
It's never about
I'll just keep saying your name until you come on and start talking.
Good morning.
And it's always a good thing, as long as you get the name right, right?
There you go.
All right. First of all, good to see you the other night over at the charity event.
Oh, it's great.
You and the missus seem like you're doing very well. It's good to see you.
It was fun. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Okay. And now let's move on to politics, because the president seemed to be making the case yesterday, as I understood it, that he has been the fiscally responsible one, and he's really only had to clean up the messes of past administrations, and that he has been better with the American taxpayer dollar than past presidents. Is that a line that is selling in your estimation?
Well, I don't think so. The specific line he said was, I have been spending. When it came to spending, it's been the lowest pace of spending increase for 60 years. And his White House came out, Jay Carney, saying that spending was not at that pace since Dwight Eisenhower. Now, we talked about it on the panel last night, and I saw the Washington Post, I think, had a fact-check article about all of that, and I think gave it 3 Pinocchios. Basically, what the premise is that if you kept the baseline at the point at which all of the emergency spending had been deployed, TARP, the stimulus that was done with Congress and the Bush administration, all of the stuff when the bottom was falling out of the economy that was done, if you kept that baseline, the White House is accurate that spending has not increased at a high rate past that. It's at 1.4%.
So you meaning if you started at $1 trillion, which is what the stimulus package was, if you start there, then it's only increased at a rate slower than what it was from Eisenhower?
Right. As all things in Washington, it's basically what your baseline is. I mean, you can say anything about the numbers, but
depending on the baseline.
If you're not talking apples and oranges, it doesn't really make sense. So if you go back to 2008, before the stuff hit the fan, that's kind of what people are looking at as far as before the emergency spending. And then you're looking at about 8% spending growth, which is historic.
So outside of the $100,000 I lost in Vegas, I'm really doing very well.
Yeah,
exactly. It all depends on your perspective, Brian.
It is amazing. All right, I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Jake Tapper earlier, because you used to work the Pentagon beat. Do you think that the administration, the CIA, the White House did give more information or more access to these filmmakers that are doing the movie about the bin Laden raid than other reporters, the rest of the media?
Yeah, I mean, just talking to people over there, including Ed Henry, our chief White House correspondent, he wasn't getting the invite to sit down with the SEAL team planner, and he wasn't heading over to the CIA's classified room called the Vault.
Right.
It just wasn't happening. So I'm not sure that the press corps is buying the answer that this was available to everybody.
So is that a problem long term?
Well, I think if this appears in ads, and it very well could, and if this movie seems to be timed right around the election, there may be some pushback from people who are turned off by that.
Yeah, well, it's not going to actually air until, or not going to be in
the movie. The movie doesn't
December.
run apparently in December. That's at least what we've hearing lately. It was initially thought that it would be released before the elections, but now it looks like it'll be after. But the movie trailers will sure be out there.
Oh yeah, definitely. And there was already when you had the president going out talking about it a lot. There were some groups that were posting videos about how it shouldn't be used as a political issue. Listen, you can't take away the success of that operation, not only from the SEALs who did it, but from the administration who,
Well,
was in charge of overseeing
Right.
it. I think it's a major success, but there's a point at which the public, I think, gets turned off by touting of it.
Well, I mean, okay, we have to give the president his due in that. I think you're fair to say that, and I think you're right to say that. But then is it also fair to raise questions about this Pakistani doctor who, in one way you can look at it, he sort of got left behind in the deal. He's going to jail for 33 years.
I think there's a lot more that we have to find out about that. I think Congressman Pete King is really asking some interesting questions about whether that name came out because of something the U.S. did. And, I think this is a major issue. You saw the Senate Appropriations Committee yesterday vote to cut back aid to Islamabad by $33 million, $1 million for each year. They sentenced that guy for high treason in Pakistan. I think it's a real problem.
All right, I know you guys talked about this the other night. Joe Biden, some people say he's a liability. The rumors have been forever that, hey, Biden's not going to be on the ticket. He's not polling very well in key swing states. Is there a chance that it's not a Obama-Biden ticket in November?
Yeah, I think it's the chances are very, very slim to none. And one of the reasons why now is because Joe Biden led the way on the same-sex marriage issue on Meet the Press, whether it was a mistake or otherwise. He is now a hero of the left of forcing President Obama's hand well before the election. Whether it was a Machiavellian move to make sure he was on the ticket or not, I don't see a change, even though you look at those swing state numbers and it's upside down in the polls when it comes to asking about Joe Biden.
Yeah, I'm not sure he was that clever. I think
you don't give him that.
No,
Okay.
I'm not going to grant him that one. I think it's just Joe being Joe. Well, anyway, hey, Bret Baier, always good to have you here on WMAL. Please come back again soon.
You got it.
All right, talk to you later.
Have a good weekend.